So, hello and welcome to our first battle report in 3rd edition Age of Sigmar. Today I'm playing Barak Thryng and against, as requested by you, Sons of Behemat. Let's go through my list. In a Warlord battalion, I have a Chemist with Spell in a Bottle, a Rune Lord as an ally, a Knight Encounter as an ally, and 10 Arcanauts with all the fancy weapons. In a Hunters of the Heartlands battalion, we have 30 Irondrakes. They count as battle line in terms of reinforcements because I have a Dwarven general, so I can reinforce them twice. 10 Longbeards and another 10 Arcanauts, all in the Hunters of the Heartlands battalion. And then we have another 10 Arcanauts. These are the militia Arcanauts standby with crossbows. My general, Endrin Master, in Endrin Harness with the Supremely Stubborn trait and the Grudge Hammer. 3 Endrin Riggers, all with swords and pistols, and an Ironclad with the last word Endrin work and a volley cannon. In the spell in the bottle we have the endless spell, the Soulscream bridge. So this is my custom bridge I made for my dwarfs armies. And this is the entire army for 1985 points.
Hi there everybody from my side as well. I'm going to be today the Giants player facing off here against Max Kharadron Overlords. As you guys can see, in typical Giant fashion, I have brought just a couple of models to today's game. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at them. We're going to play today against Max the Breaker tribe with the subfaction Idiots with Flags. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at the individual models in the list. So starting off here, this is going to be one of our War Stompers for today. He's just a simple War Stomper without anything special, so we can go ahead and move on. Up next we have here a big bearded guy with a red beard. He is going to be a Gatebreaker and he has the magical artifact, the Portcullis, for having that 6-up ward save against damage. Moving on, we have here our general. As you guys can see, he's a bit larger than the rest of the giants. He has the trait Monstrously Tough, so he's going to have 5 more wounds than the rest of the guys. He's of course using the Amulet of Destiny for the juicy 5-up ward save against damage here as well. And last but not least, we have here our second War Stomper in the list. He has a magical artifact because he is using the the generic Arcane Tome in order to be able to cast one spell and dispel once per hero phase. He knows the spell Flaming Weapon, and all of these 4 guys today are in 2 battalions. I'm using 2 times Bosses of the Stomp, Magnificent of course, in order to have those extra artifacts.
Okay, how many points are you?
And I'm 1990 points.
Woo! I get my triumph by 5 points. Okay, we'll be back after setup and with the first priority. Okay, here we are deployed. We are playing First Blood with the 3 objectives in the middle. Normal scoring, you score if you have 1, if you have 2, if you have more, and start of the 3rd round the player who goes second can remove 1. We have all the Gargants in the middle, and we have a War Stomper, the magic 1, caster 1, normal 1, and then the 2 Gatebreakers in the middle. And I deployed 30 inches away with my main part of my army, so he can't throw his pesky 4 damage rocks at me. Just these Arcanauts here. I decided to put them a bit front because they might want to go and tag that objective if I need to go first. We have the Longbeards here. So when they run, they still have that rerolling ones. The wound aura rather forward into the middle. The Ironclad with my 2 heroes inside, Irondrakes in the back to give them lookouts, or all the Irondrakes hiding behind the tower with a little hole behind them for the bridge, and the remaining Arcanauts over here to contest that objective, and then in the boat the third unit of Arcanauts, not Irondrakes, these are Arcanauts as well. Okay, and who's going first?
It's going to be the Kharadron Overlords player.
Okay, because he only had 4 drops, I had a billion drops, so he's gonna make me go first, and it's a difficult decision because I could, you know, do my whole trick, bridge in the middle, put the Irondrakes on the objective, start shooting at giants, but then the remaining 3 giants will come and give me a whooping. So I need to think about what's the best tactic here. We'll be back after my my hero phase. Okay, nothing major happened. My battle tactic is ferocious advance with my Longbeards, my Knight Encounter, and the Irondrakes behind the boat. And I attempted to get an extra command point for my general, but I failed. And this giant over here is having his best day ever. His what's it called?
Finest hour.
Finest hour. His Taco Tuesday. And then I cast a Mystic Shield with the Encounter, which he did not manage to unbind onto my Longbeards. And that's basically all that happened in the hero phase, and we'll be back after the movement phase. Okay, so I finished my movement phase. Everyone just ran forward. I completed my battle tactic over here. The Ironclad had to stand still, and the Chemist was able to get out. That was a mistake of my part. He should have started outside of the Ironclad from the beginning. So maybe the Ironclad could have gone over here to cap an objective. These guys managed to run up to the objective. So at least I score 1 and I score more, giving me 2 points plus 2 points from my battle tactic. The rest remain more or less where they are, safe from the Gargants, because I didn't want to deploy my Irondrakes in the middle, take out 1 Gargant and then get my ass whooped by the remaining 3 and lose the game that way. Okay, so we'll see what Hunar does in his round. Go.
So turn 1 Gargants, I went ahead and started with the hero phase. As the battle tactic for this round, I chose Ferocious Advance, that I'm going to run with my 3 Gargants here. They are going to be my 2 Gatebreakers, which you see here, and the War Stumper, which has the magical artifact. Then I moved on to actually trying to cast with the guy who has the magical artifact, trying to cast Mystical Shield on himself, but he failed, rolling a 3. And that's the end of hero phase number 1 for the Gargants.
Yeah, I also failed to get an extra command point from Heroic Leadership. I forgot to mention before, I chose the 3 giants who do not have the 5-up ward as my grudged units, so my Barak Thryng units can reroll ones to hit against those. Okay, we'll be back after movement.
Turn 1 movement phase for the giants. They overran in order to be able to complete the battle tactic, which they successfully did, forming their triangle there. And the 4th giant also had a tough decision to make. The idea was to go ahead and try to take this point here, or just stay in the middle with the rest of the giants and really try to project that big powerful blob in the middle. I chose to do the second, so I'm choosing to stay in the middle, and currently I'm dominating 1 objective, I'm dominating the 2nd objective, and with this I'm all set to get 5 victory points this round. And because I ran, I don't have any charges, and of course I don't have any shooting, so it's end of turn 1 for Sons of Behemat, scoring 1 point, scoring 2 points, and scoring then 3 extra points for the completed battle tactic with monsters. So in total 5 points.
Okay, well done. So currently we're standing 4 points for Kharadron against 5 points for you. And shall we do the roll-off straight away?
Of course.
And I get a 2.
I get the magical 1.
A magical 1, okay. Let me think about this. Okay, end of my hero phase, I chose Savage Spearhead as my battle tactic. which basically means I just need to fly the Ironclad with Endrinriggers or with the guy inside who still counts as a unit over there, and they can score it. Owner chose Finest Hour on this War Stomper over here in the woods, and then I managed to pray for extra rend from, where is he? My Rune Lord onto the Irondrakes, and the Chemist released the bridge, which I set up here, so they are wholly within 6, and then the furthermost I could reach over here, 18 inches up there. He failed to cast his Mystic Shield, and that's the entire hero phase basically. We'll be back after moving. Okay, after my movement phase, most of the things ran. He ran over here, they ran to be within 6 of the objective, although he's still obviously capturing it. The Longbeards auto-ran 10, so that the Irondrakes that went over the bridge are wholly within 12 for the reroll 1 to wound. Rune Lord didn't run as fast, he just caught up behind them. The Chemist ran over here, up there. These Arcanauts, they sadly only run 1 inch. Wanted to get them a bit further so they could kind of create a wall in front of the Irondrakes, but they disappointed me, so that's where they all end up. Irondrakes on the objective, all within 16 inches of at least this War Stomper up here. And then we have the Ironclad with Endrinriggers over there in his territory, so I scored the battle tactic. Okay, and we'll be back after shooting. Okay, end of my shooting phase. The Irondrakes with a command point for +1 to hit and the Triumph for +1 to wound overkilled that poor War Stomper, who also auto-defensed with his Finest Hour, but that was not enough. And then the Ironclad used the exploding 6s from Barak Thryng, shooting into this Gatebreaker, but together with the Endrinriggers we only caused, I think, 6 wounds, so that was not very successful. But we are 1 Gargant down. He fell somewhere towards them. I won the roll off, so nothing happened there. And there's no battle shock, there's no charges because everyone ran or doesn't want to charge. So I score 1.1 for killing a monster this round, and 2 for my battle tactic, so another 4 points. And we'll see how the Gargants now retaliate. Okay, again a quick heroic hero phase. His battle tactic is to destroy my battle line. He attempted to cast Mystic Shield on him. He succeeded, but then my Rune Lord said no with a +2, so no Mystic Shield for you. And he healed this Gatebreaker back here 2 wounds with heroic recovery, and I managed to give my Chemist, who's hiding behind the house, an extra command point. We'll be back after movement. Okay, in the movement phase, big boys move forward, ready to squash my poor little Irondrakes. I thought about redeploying them, but I mean the 1 or 2 inches they get will not be enough because they're almost within 3 inches, and if I move towards the back here, I'm outside of the 6 inches of the bridge, which is maybe my saving grace, saving a few of them and teleporting them back over there next turn. The other one went down there to achieve his battle tactic, which was to destroy my battle line. So we'll see how his charges go, his impact hits, and we'll be back after combat. Okay, end of Sons of Behemoth's turn. Well, these 2 Gatebreakers did not manage to kill all the Irondrakes. There were 7 left. However, I have no command points left, bar the 1 on this Chemist. But because there were 7 and not 6, the unit was not wholly within 12. So I could not inspire them, and thus they all run away, which is sad. So he is scoring 1 objective, 2 objectives, more objectives. This Warstomper had no problem with these 10 Arcanauts, killing them, achieving his battle tactic with a monster, totaling 6 points for this round. And we go now into round number 3. Roll off, I roll a 4.
Yeah, I roll
and you manage a 4 as well. So it's my choice because I went first. And let me think about this. Okay, so I decided to give the turn away because otherwise he would remove 1 objective, probably this one, and then he would control both the middle ones with 3 giants in the middle. There's no way for me to win this. Plus he's currently stuck in combat with these 2 Gargants, so if he doesn't kill them in shooting, there's not too much damage he can do this turn. He could jump over the bridge over here, but I'll try to dispel the bridge start of his hero phase, so he can't do that. And I decided to remove the middle one because first I was tempted to keep 3 objectives, so there's more for me to score, but then probably he would always score 1, 2 and more by just having 2 of them, while when there's only 2 on the board and I have 1, then he's only scoring for 1. So that's a little chance for me. So that was my thought process there. Let's see if I actually manage to keep up, maybe not lose too high. So hero phase completed. He chose aggressive expansion on the 2 remaining objectives. Attempted to cast a Mystic Shield, failed again, but Heroic recovered 2 wounds on him, and I dispelled the bridge with the Rune Lord. And this poor Knight Encounter chose Finest Hour, but he's probably done with the game after this turn. Let's see what happens. So, scared as he was, he retreated back onto the objective. And these 2 dealt 8 wounds in shooting, and then the big guy just outright killed the remaining 2. Leaving them 2 standing here in the objective. No more combats, no battle shocks. Scoring you 2 points for the tactic.
Correct.
And 1, 2 and more. So another 3 points, so another 5 points for you. Bringing you to 16 to 8 with my 3rd turn to go. Let's see. Okay. My battle tactic is to conquer this objective. My thought process is if I choose bring it down or kill a battle line first, which probably brings me onto the objective and conquers me objective, then I cannot conquer the next turn. So I basically lose the possibility to score that battle tactic. That's why I'm going first with conquer, but I'm not certain I'll do it because he still has 32 wounds left. And there's not much left in my army. He failed to cast the bridge. He cast the 6-up protection shield from his war scroll onto the Longbeards. They grumbled for reroll 1s to wound. Chemist gave himself etheric augmentation for reroll 1s to wound. And he failed to heal himself. That's it. Let's see what happens in movement and shooting. Okay, my army is running away. Chemist heroically is moving forward just to shoot a couple of shots into the Gargant with his Ren 2 weapon. These guys run automatically 10 just to create kind of a block to maybe keep the Gargants away from that objective a bit longer. He ran forwards and they flew high over here. That's all I have left of my army. Okay, enough of my shooting. I spent Triumph and a command point for a +1 to hit, +1 to wound on the Ironclad. And he has now 20 wounds allocated, so 15 left. Chemist did some damage against this guy, bringing him now to 9 wounds. That's all of it. Let's see. Charges. I'm gonna straightly charge with my Engine Riggers. They need a 9. They get an 8. Might as well re-roll it, because end of turn, command points will go away anyway. And I manage a 6. So that's not going to happen. And I don't feel like putting this ship into there because I don't have the battle ram. And he'll just destroy my ship. So that's the end of my turn. I fail my battle tactic. I have no objectives. I killed no monster. So 0 points for Kharadron Overlords. Let's go into the roll-off straight for 4th round.
Let's do it.
A 4 again. Always 4s.
And
it's cocked.
It's caught. Hold on. Let's do it again. And
3. So it's my decision. I think the best case here is for me to go again and try to maybe kill him this turn.
Of course.
Okay, I'll probably take the turn. Yep. Okay, my battle tactic is to bring him down because he already did his finest hour. So maybe I have a chance now. He cast an arcane bolt and they grumbled for +1 bravery. He gave him a 6-up funeral pain. He gave himself again the reroll ones to wound. And he healed himself a single wound. And that's it. Let's go into moving and shooting. Okay, end of my movement phase. This guy ran 6 again because I rolled a 6 this time. He ran up here, so they're kind of either blocking. If he charges them, they might pull him off the objective. Chemist sneakily is trying to go around. Maybe put another shots into him. But mainly they're just there to keep those 2 Gargants busy. While over here, the Encounter moved forward. The Irondrakes moved forward. They exited the ship, which puts my general with the Grudge Hammer into a charging position, and all the Arcanauts within 9 of the objective for +1 to hit. So hopefully I'll be able to shoot this Gargant dead, who redeployed 3 inches back. Ship had to stay where it is because of the current garrison rules. And let's see if I can actually manage to kill this Gargant. Okay, so end of my shooting and also end of my round. We managed to kill him with shooting, but then he fell onto, after rolling a lot of draws on the roll-off, I think 4 in a row, he finally rolled higher than me, and the Gargant fell onto the 3 units, causing 1 wound to the Irondrakes, 1 to the hero, and killed 3 Arcanauts, but they saved their battle shock with a roll of 2. So I conquered this objective, I achieved my battle tactic, I killed a monster. So that's, let me think, 1 point here, 2 points,
That's
2 points. 4 points. 4 points in total. Over here I just dealt a wound to him, and that's all that happened. So I am at 12 points to your 16. Doesn't sound that difficult, to be honest. It's not that harsh yet, but let's see what he does in his 4th and 5th turn. Okay, for his battle tactic he chose Monstrous Takeover. Very easy to achieve on the objective here in the back. And he healed 1 wound again on his smaller gatebreaker here. And I chose Finest Hour for my chemist because, let's be honest, he'll probably kill him now. And he can do so while staying within 6 of the objective, so that's no problem. And basically that's all that happened, really. Movement. Okay, in the shooting phase both targeted my Rune Lord and killed him with boulders, and then they made their charges, not moving prior, but no impact damage so far. They're still both within 6 of the objective. Okay, the expected has happened. Both units are dead. That's all that happened. So he achieves his battle tactic for 2 points. He owns 1 objective. So that's another point. That's it, basically, is it?
Yes, that's it.
Okay, so 3 points, bringing you to 19 to 12. So So is there any way for me to win this by 7 points? Probably not. Best case is killing a monster, scoring battle tactic for free, and another 2. Best case I can do is 5 points, really. But let's see, because if you were in a tournament setting which uses the differential system, each point counts. So I'm curious to see how many points I can actually get.
Shall we do the
if I win the roll-off, yeah. With another 4. Oh, I only rolled 4s all game.
Well, let's see, but you're consistently winning them, so you never know.
And I think I probably need to take this, just to be sure. Okay, quick hero phase for me. Kill the battle line. I think that's the only reasonable tactic I might be able to achieve with a bit of luck, but probably not. I recast the bridge to get my Irondrakes over, to put a few shots into him, maybe with a lucky charge. Let's see, put some wounds on him. And the only other threat I have is the Ironclad, who can go over there and do some pew pew, but that's all I can do. Obviously he did Finest Hour on his Gatebreaker, and I healed the 1 wound on my general, so I don't lose him maybe in the last turn when he throws some rocks at him. Okay, let's go into movement and shooting altogether. Okay, in the shooting phase, because no hero nearby, no +1 to hit for the Ironclad, the gold was already spent. I gave them a +1 to hit, but I think in total I dealt 4 wounds.
Around that, yeah.
Around that, so with Finest Hour and all of defense sitting on a 2+ save with 1 rend on most weapons, there's just not much happening. Plus I didn't roll well on my volley gun, only doing I think 10 shots. So that was expected. He still has 21 wounds, but for the glorious end of this battle report, I'm gonna charge, or attempt to charge, with my Irondrakes. 7 doesn't do it. Last command point. Let's go, boys. No, a 6. They're not in the mood. The ship. A 6 as well. So there's nothing happening. That's all from Kharadron in this game. So there's 1 point here. For 1, not more. No battle tactic. So that brings me to a final score of 13 points plus possibly my or probably my strategy, which was the one where you have more units on the board than your opponent, because I started the game with I think 10 or 11 units against his 4, and I don't think he can kill. Well, maybe he can kill 2.
But you still have 3 then.
So then I still have 3. These guys, they all moved out of reach of his rocks for launching the rocks. So best case he could kill these 2. So I get that, but he also gets his tactic, which is keeping his monsters alive, I believe.
Yes.
Which is the obvious choice for having 4 Gargants with 1 nigh unkillable one. So that would not make a difference. He'll probably score his tactic and have a big win here, but we'll see what the final score will be after his turn. Okay, this is the end of the game after 5 turns. The Ironclad remained alive with a single wound because I made a lot of 6s on my saves. It's really bad not to have a hero inside to unleash hell, all-out defense, and that kind of stuff. He managed to squeeze both his giants into my deployment zone, so achieving his Savage Spearhead with 2 monsters for 3 points, still scoring his 1 objective back here for another point, so another 4, which brings us with the strategies to a total of 26 to my 16 points, because I have more units alive. I have still 5 units on the board. Which is a pretty massive loss for me. This giant here, he has 13 wounds left, so maybe with a bit more luck or more shooting that I could have done with the Irondrakes, maybe I could have killed another giant, but it was very tough for me losing my Irondrakes after they only achieved to kill one mostly insignificant Gargant of the 3. But that's the problem, because I was high drops. I didn't want to commit the Irondrakes to the middle, because that would have killed them. Committing them over there was a bit of a, oh, maybe I can go here. And then losing the priority there. Should have committed maybe in the first turn, I'm not sure. What do you think, Hunar? What went wrong, what went well this game?
Well, I think what really went well for you was the fact that you managed to get all the priorities. That was really good. On the other hand, I think the game was decided actually in turn 2 when you came forward here with the Irondrakes, and you committed the big mistake that you guys shouldn't do at home when you play against Gargants: screen your important stuff against the Gargants, because the Gargants cannot fly. They cannot basically go over your screens like Iron Jaws would, for instance, and because of that, it's quite easy to screen against Gargants. Max failed to do this here partially, and he basically left a 3-inch gap or a 4-inch gap where actually they could go ahead and both of them charge in.
Yeah. Plus, if I would have kept him behind the screen outside of 3 inches, I could have unleashed hell with double the shots.
Correct.
Potentially weakening a Gargant more, so in the rest of the game he would have died. And then with, you know, even if you lose half of the Irondrakes with a rally, you can always bring back a couple, and their output is just so good.
Correct.
So that was a bit of a shame, a misplay on my hand. Also was that I deployed the chemist inside the ship, which was stupid because of garrisoning stupid rules. I couldn't move the ship, but I didn't want to move him away from there because he needed to deploy the bridge. So I definitely should have deployed him outside of the ship. So I could have used the Ironclad turn 1 to threaten an objective, maybe get 2 from the start, get a couple of more points in. Because the Ironclad, when there is a hero inside with the last word, Unleash Hell, it's a commitment to charge it with a single Gargant. You can do some damage already in the shooting phase, and then with dropping bombs, so you can maybe take half of his wounds. So that's something I believe Gargant players are always a bit scared to do, to lose. They only have 4 models. They are a bit scared to lose models. That's why you will find that most Gargant players do play rather defensively.
Correct.
Which they can do. They can just sit on objective and bunker up. And then when they go up, they probably hit you and smack you hard. And with the safe stacking now available to them, it's rather hard to damage them. What I must say, what I really like about Barak Thryng is the rerolling ones on 3/4 of your army. That really helped even for the coalition units. The exploding 6s didn't do that much. Maybe I should have spent that on the Irondrakes, generating even more hits. With that, and +1 to hit and a +1 to wound from 25, I maybe could have even tackled the big guy, combined with the shooting from the Ironclad. Maybe that could have been enough. But yeah, it's a tough game. The Knight Incanter, he was there to auto-unbind, but you almost always failed your casting, or the Rune Lord cancelled out. What's also a thing to keep in mind, even if you bridge the Irondrakes, you want to keep them in buff range for the next turn. So then you need to plan ahead where to run your Longbeards, where to keep your Rune Lord, who is a great piece for 90 points. Having that prayer for more rend, or a 6-up Feel No Pain, that's awesome. And yeah, I'll probably tinker around with Barak Thryng a bit more. I like it as a concept. I don't think Fire Slayers are valuable anymore, since you can only bring 10 Hearthguard instead of 20, as I did in the last battle report. But I think Barak Thryng definitely has some gas in it for some matchups. Any last words from your part?
Yes, from my side. One last thing for you guys at home. Another important thing when you're towards the end of the game, you just have one or two rounds left. Always think about what kind of things did your opponent already do on the level of battle tactics. What do they still have left? and then try to think about how can you block them actually getting that. Because, for example, here I set up my Gargants deceivingly for Max. He didn't think that I will go in the last turn actually for the battle tactic where I have to get 2 units into his territory. If both of them are monsters, I get an extra point here. And with that, I managed to get the 3 more points here. Of course, this wasn't significant in this particular game, but it can be significant in your games against Gargants, for instance.
Yes,
so
absolutely. Basically, in a team event or in a tournament, that's 3 points that you just give away, which can be significant for your team results or your own tournament standings. So yeah, probably I should have maybe approached the Gargants from the other side, or I mean, there was a small chance to kill one. Maybe not even, just leave him alone and be done with it, because the game was decided anyway.
Correct.
All right, thank you very much for taking time, and perhaps we'll see you in the next battle report, maybe with a different army. And bye bye for now.
Thank you for having me. Bye bye.